Month 6. Adopt better habits. I am balanced in body and mind. As month 6 began, the sun was shining, which helped to make everything look and feel so much brighter. Since I was still slightly traumatized by my encounter with the zip wire, I was very pleased to note my next resolution was so much calmer. Adopt better habits. I came up with this challenge when I realized how I'd let my recycling slip. So this goal was a way to get back on track. As I gave it some extra thought, I came to the conclusion that recycling my rubbish was a pretty lame topic to cover, and all my readers would be nodding off before I'd managed to soak the label off an old baked bean tin. So the decision was made. I was going to adopt better habits. My tins were stripped and ready for collection, my milk cartons were washed out and crushed, and my cardboard was flat and bound for the paper truck. But, for the sanity of my blog readers, I decided to recycle in a more holistic way. When I run my personal development workshops, I often refer to space clearing, which in turn helps to clear the mind. This is a great starting point for any new venture, idea or period of recovery. A clean slate, if you like. Clearing your clutter is one of the most effective ways to feel amazing, lighter, brighter, and very often a wee bit richer. So here are your 4 easy steps to achieving inner peace by clearing that clutter and recycling. Number 1. Take responsibility. Look around you. Are there piles of magazines, old books, CDs you no longer listen to or have uploaded to your iPod? Do you own 14 glass vases but never buy flowers? Does your wardrobe contain thin clothes and fat clothes, and not in a month of Sundays am I going to wear again clothes? If you said yes, go on, admit it, then clearing the clutter is for you. It is incredibly empowering to steam in and have a good sort out. I do this on a regular basis, normally when I feel my energy levels dip. I take a look around and may notice that the cupboard under the stairs is full of kids' shoes, coats and other out-of-sight, out-of-mind rubbish. A quick tidy up and I feel my energy levels begin to rise. I love this Japanese proverb and have stuck it on my pinboard. The day you decide to do, it is your lucky day. It works on so many levels, but for the purpose of clearing clutter, I can tell you I have found the odd fiver tucked away in old coats on more than one occasion. 2. Take it slowly. I do everything at 100 miles an hour, but when I clear my clutter, I tend to savour the moment. If you are looking around at a mountain of stuff, don't panic. It may look overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. You've taken responsibility, so the hard bit's over. Now is the action part of the plan. Take it one room at a time. When you look around the room you have chosen, break it down even further. Take it one piece of furniture at a time. Clear a desk drawer or one shelf on the bookcase, and then build up to the entire desk or a couple of other shelves. 3. Tools to help. The only tools you will need are a big mug of coffee and 3 cardboard boxes. Label the boxes Donate, Bin and Sell. Donate. This is your charity box. Anything that isn't broken but no longer has any place in your home could make someone else very happy and become their most prized possession. You did that. You made someone else happy. Wow. Bin. We all gather bits and bobs which have no value or reason. I recently cleared out my desk drawer and got rid of 19 pens which had run out of ink. Who knows why I'd put them back in my desk. On the plus side, it gave me the perfect excuse to buy a new pen. I'm so easily pleased. Sell. If your resolution started in January, then month 6 will coincide with summer and car boot season. If you started your resolution at another time of year, then take a look in your local newspaper for tabletop sales that are indoors and perfect for the winter months. If you've never done one before, then give it a go. It's great for getting rid of bulky items as well as unloved ornaments, books, DVDs and clothes. My kids grow that fast, I could hold a regular slot at the local car boot and just sell their cast-offs. Top tips for car booting or tabletopping. Take plenty of loose change, a flask and a packed lunch, old carrier bags, plastic bags or sheets in case it rains, an old table, I use a paste table, and a friend. 4. Completion. You've done so well if you've made it this far. Well done you. Now you just need to complete the process. You've signed up for a car boot, so the cell box will be going. You've driven to the local refuse centre and dropped off your bin box. All that's left is to load up the car with your charity box and deliver it to your nearest shop. Don't leave it by the front door. Don't leave it in the boot of your car. You've done so well. Don't stop now. Top tip: anything you don't sell at the car boot, transfer directly into your charity box and don't reintroduce it into your home. There you go. Clearing clutter in 4 easy steps. You'll feel empowered and lighter for doing this. It doesn't matter how long it takes you either. Making a start is a fantastic achievement, and keeping the flow going brings about a wave of energy for you and your home. What a great habit to adopt. A clutter-free home makes for a clutter-free mind and helps so many people to feel better about their environment and themselves. As week 24 arrived, I was still concentrating on my Adopt Better Habits challenge, and I decided to venture outdoors. Not such a good choice with the torrential rain. However, it did help with the spade work for this week's resolution, to grow my own food. Anyone who knows me will confirm my home contains no living plants, as I have a tendency to kill anything remotely green, so this challenge was going to be quite interesting. A few years ago, my dad made me a vegetable patch. He used some old timber and boxed out a part of my garden. Then my eldest son and I dug over the soil in readiness for the bumper crop of salads and vegetables we were going to grow. Fast forward 3 years and we have a bumper crop of weeds and quite an impressive variety too. So this week was going to be the turning point for me to adopt a better habit. I dodged the rain and with spade in hand tackled the knee-high jungle. I turned the soil, I de-weeded and I planted the tiny specks of dust that fell from the packet labelled lettuce. I watched, I waited, and then I got bored and made a cuppa. Growing your own is not the best activity for an impatient Gemini like myself. Fortunately, I received an email which gave me the perfect tools, no pun intended, to while away the hours. Douglas Macpherson, author of Circus Mania, dropped me a note to tell me all about World Juggling Day, a perfect pastime for a restless green-fingered wannabe like me. Douglas assured me that juggling was great for uniting the left and right sides of my brain, apparently. His blog contains 15 facts about juggling. Did you know that juggling can burn 280 calories an hour? There is also a how-to guide if you want to give it a go yourself. My juggling was about as good as my gardening, but it was certainly a fun activity to pass the time. Links can be found at the end of the book. By the time my lettuces and potatoes were ready for harvest, I was a pro juggler. Well, in my head I was. With all the fresh salad and vegetables available from our very own vegetable garden, I thought I would test myself to the limits for week 25 and go veggie for 7 days. When I was in my 30s, many years ago, I appeared in Spirit and Destiny magazine's Health MOT feature. I was interviewed by a naturopath, personal trainer and nutritionist. I discovered that as my blood type is A, my body struggles to break down red meat and chicken, which can cause bowel toxicity. I was advised to cut out all red meat and cut down on chicken, as well as have fish at least 3 times a week and drink 8 glasses of water daily. This was sound advice, but at the time I had 3 kids under 5 and a lousy husband. I also really do love a juicy steak, crave bacon butties, and enjoy roast chicken dinners. Can you see how going vegetarian for a week was going to be tough? I needed help. I wanted to combine my vegetarian week with my very first resolution of losing weight. I had done so well at the start of the year, but as the months had rolled forward, I had allowed a few bad habits to return, so this challenge would hopefully help me to get back on track with my weight loss challenge. I was therefore overjoyed to discover a great book with tips for losing weight, told in a light-hearted way — I don't like being told what to eat — with plenty of veggie recipes. I bought How to Eat Loads and Stay Slim by Della Galton and Peter Jones, after being initially attracted by the fabulous title. Who doesn't want to eat loads but keep a trim waist? Once I began reading, I discovered a highly amusing mix of hunger science, quick cheats, psychological techniques, and scrumptious recipes. As a wannabe vegetarian, it really helped me on my veggie week to see how Della could keep herself adequately fed without adding meat to her diet. She's also uber trim, so that was motivation enough to want to find out her secrets. Peter's veggie recipes are amazing. Don't get me wrong, this book is for carnivores as well as herbivores, so there is plenty to keep the whole family happy. For my male readers, you also have a treat in store, aside from a svelte Della. Peter's take on losing weight is hilarious and enlightening. I certainly never thought men suffered the same hang-ups as women, but Peter tells it how it is in a true Yorkie bar fashion. The book also links to a corresponding website, which was my go-to source for this week's challenge. Peter's Veggie Bean Chili was our Friday night special. There is also a link to follow them on Facebook if you want tips, recipes and inspiration on the go. As always, links can be found at the end of the book. My younger son asked if he could join me for this challenge as he loves fish and vegetables. It was great to have him involved, and we both enjoyed the colourful variety of foods that we ate. He wasn't too impressed with crab sticks, but he did love the fat-free salad dressing from the book. This week was a real surprise for me. I thought of it as a big challenge. Okay, maybe not as big as the zip wire, but I ended up looking forward to meal times, felt lighter and not as drained. I'm going to take Della and Peter's advice and eat a more sensible and varied diet. I may not be able to cut all meat from my diet, but using their tips and recipes, I can integrate more fish and veggie dishes into our meal planner. Take a look at the How to Eat Loads and Stay Slim website and start your own challenge today. It could be a veggie week or just a healthy eating campaign. Using the book and the site, you won't go wrong. If you want more information about the authors of How to Eat Loads and Stay Slim, log on to their personal websites below: dellagalton.co.uk, peterjonesauthor.com. Month 6 equals mission completed. Summary of the last 6 months. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, to achieve means to succeed in doing something by effort, skill, or courage. What a lovely mantra for our daily lives. Think about what you've achieved in the last 6 months. When I began this challenge 6 months ago, my initial aim was to complete at least 1 or 2 of the items on my New Year resolution list. I would be happy to lose 8 pounds. I would be over the moon to run without the aid of an oxygen tank, and I would be ecstatic to have one of my stories published. I remember it so well, drinking bubbles and brainstorming ideas for an outstanding new year. But wait, I had achieved those things and many more. Just what had I achieved? In month 1, I started my weight loss campaign, a clean slate with a fridge full of goodies. By month 2, I was 10 pounds lighter, but after my alcohol-free month, where I replaced wine with Whisper bars, my weight crept up again. Della Galton and Peter Jones to the rescue with their book How to Eat Loads and Stay Slim, and month 6 saw me back on track and even surviving a meat-free week. My Move More campaign in month 2 tested my endurance levels with walking, skipping, not to be recommended if you are above a D cup, cycling and Wii Fit. I don't know about being fitter, but I certainly slept well that month. In month 3, I got to unleash my creativity. I made vision boards, looked at creative ways to fundraise, and of course I got to write and then write some more. Many of my favourite authors use the mantra, if you want to be a writer, you need to write. So I did, and among the stories and letters I had published, my post about vision boards appeared in a full-page spread by the wonderfully talented Paula Williams for Writers' Forum magazine. On occasion, my resolutions have overlapped. Month 4 was my alcohol-free month, and as I coped with an Easter break as a teetotal holidaymaker, I found myself doing things I had never done before, which was meant to be month 5's challenge. This included being dragged up on stage and wrapped in sticky tape at the circus by Paolo the Clown. Of course, this only happened after Douglas MacPherson, author of Circus Mania, informed me it was World Circus Day when we were away. Who could resist the circus? Month 5's Do Something I've Never Done Before challenge turned out to be a wonderful month of opportunities. I made a fairy garden with my daughter. Crafting queen Nicola Grice taught me how to make a quilt cushion cover. And I had very girly eyelash extensions by the gorgeous Ellie. The most amazing challenge that month, though, was going into my local junior school to run a workshop on emotional freedom techniques, EFT, to help the Year 6 children cope with the stress and anxiety of their SATs. Month 5 finished on a very high note when I scared myself to death by going on a zip wire. My knees were knocking for days after that challenge. In month 6, I motivated an army of readers to declutter, grow their own vegetables and salad, and try the odd meat-free dinner. With 6 months completed and the next 6 months stretching ahead, I was energised and raring to go. For the remainder of the year, I would have to, at various points, cope without television, Facebook, my car, or in the case of month 7, black clothing. I'd have to put on my travel writing head for month 8 and report from London, Cornwall, Warwick and York, plus any other pretty towns I might stumble across. My biggest challenge of the year, NaNoWriMo, which is a competition to write a 50,000-word novel in 1 month, was scheduled for month 11, and then in month 12 I would be turning my hand to homemade gifts. If you are feeling motivated to achieve something for yourself and are wondering how to achieve it, then read on. Try to look beyond your usual routines. There is a land of amazing possibilities out there, so be daring, be creative, stand out, do things and go places you've never been before. Repeat after me. This is the best year of my life. Month 7. Appreciate what you have by giving something up. I enjoy a challenge. As I prepared for my month 7 challenges, the weatherman had promised a spell of sunshine, ice creams and paddling pools. What a wonderful way to start a challenge, and for this month I had to be grateful for what I have by giving something up. Sounded simple enough on paper. I split the month into 4 and gave something up for a week at a time. This included giving up my car, Facebook and television, but I found week 27 to be the hardest of all. At the request of my daughter, I had to give up wearing black clothing. You may think that sounds very trivial, but I dare you to go through your wardrobe and remove everything black. See, I'm not the only one who has an ocean of black fabric in their closet, am I? My daughter is always telling me off when we go clothes shopping, as I navigate my way to the dull and boring black outfits. She rolls her eyes and says, "Mom, get something colourful." Of course, at 12 years of age, she rocks the whole multicoloured leggings, layered t-shirt look. But I like my comfy clothes and I like them to be black. So I decided to appease her and agreed to go 1 week without wearing any black item of clothing. I realised the magnitude of this challenge when, on day 1, with bleary eyes and bed hair, I fished around in my underwear drawer for any other colour of pants. Note to self, pants situation critical. Fortunately, I did find the appropriate undergarment and could move on to the rest of my outfit, but yet again I hit a snag. My work uniform was black. So at 6 a.m, I found myself digging through the very large ironing pile to find an old white tunic and tan-coloured trousers, which had been my uniform 5 years ago. Oh God, would my backside fit into the trousers? This challenge could get embarrassing. Panic over, it all fitted, snugly, and I could at least continue with my working day. Fast forward to the 3 p.m. school run, and thank goodness for blue denim. With 2 minutes to spare, I stood in my jeans and bra, white one, looking at 25 black tops. If I turned up at school in just my underwear, my daughter would disown me. Then I remembered a multicoloured t-shirt I'd bought for an 80s fancy dress party. Yes, I wore it. I didn't think it was possible for an eye roll from a 12-year-old to stop me in my tracks, but hey, this challenge was never going to be easy, on either of us apparently. So after receiving strict instructions to stay in the car from now on, we made our way home. I decided that some planning was needed if I was going to last the week stress-free. I took out everything I owned that was black from my wardrobe, drawers and even the shoe rack. The result was quite surprising. Looking at my now colourful rail of clothing, yes, there were a few bright bits and bobs hiding in there, I realised I was smiling. Don't get me wrong, I smile all the time, so this isn't a new phenomenon, but it was the reason for my smile that intrigued me. The colours were lifting my mood. When I teach my meditation classes, I include a topic on colouring in and how this simple act can calm the mind and help us be in the now. As part of the topic, we also look at our choice of colouring pencil to give us a guide as to what mood we are in, colour therapy. How amazing that this simple lesson could overlap into my day-to-day life. Over the course of the week, I tried to wear a different colour each day, and the results were quite astonishing. Red top, I cleaned the house top to bottom and felt very active. I had to attend a funeral, and so instead of usual black attire, I chose to wear navy. I felt quite peaceful, despite the upsetting circumstances. When I wore my pink jumper, I enjoyed an entire hour of me time, chilling with a book, before spending the evening doing lovely family stuff with my children. When I wore my green t-shirt, I noticed that nothing seemed to bother me. So what do colours actually mean? Red commands action, helps express passion, joy and anger. Blue creates a feeling of serenity and trust, good for communicating your needs. Pink, loving colour, promotes a calm atmosphere and relieves tired muscles. Green, great for balancing, self-love and stress relief. Over the week, I found myself searching for brighter colours to wear, and I loved the way each piece of clothing impacted on my mood. My inner sunshine emerged. I looked forward to getting my tropical clothes out and carrying on with the colour challenge. Although black can give the illusion of a slimmer body, it can also drain your emotions and leave you feeling gloomy. It's a habit I appear to have taken on since my divorce, and coming to this realisation, albeit 10 years later, had an astonishing impact on my well-being. My challenge also sparked a rather hilarious discussion with my meditation class about colour-coordinated underwear. I think that's a whole challenge in itself. Leaving the car at home for week 28 just happened to coincide with a UK heatwave, but I refuse to call this cheating. When I decided to include appreciate what you have by giving something up as one of my resolutions, I knew each item would have to be important, otherwise where would the challenge be? In the grand scheme of things, this probably wasn't such a hard challenge, as I do very low mileage. But when you have a car, you do use it all the time regardless of whether the shop is 2 or 20 miles away. Or is that just me? What I did learn during my car-free week was to appreciate the convenience of being mobile and the ability to pop out whenever and wherever we want. I thoroughly enjoyed walking my daughter to and from school. The beautiful weather obviously a factor, but I did find food shopping a bit tricky. As I struggled back from the town centre, my knuckles grazing the floor as I wrestled with 4 heavy shopping bags, I really did miss my Honda. On the plus side, I can now touch my toes without bending over. As I was feeling quite smug about this challenge and enjoying the fresh air and exercise, I started wondering if my small 7-day stint had had any impact on the environment. So I took to Google to find out the answer and was very surprised at what my research uncovered. I discovered the Carbon Footprint Calculator, a fabulous site that enables you to see how your life is impacting the environment. Enter your country and the dates you wish to calculate to and from. The site gives you a selection of tabs to choose from, which include house, car, flights, motorbike, etc. Fill in the relevant information and then click the green offset button. This takes you to a link whereby you can donate to a worthy cause to offset your carbon footprint should you wish. The causes include clean energy, reforestation in Kenya, UK tree planting, certified emission reduction. By not using my car for 1 week, I saved 0.02 tonnes. Not a lot really, but then I only travel approximately 60 miles. Over the course of a year, this equates to 1.18 tonnes, based on my low mileage. not taking into account holiday and weekend travel. The average footprint in the UK is 9.80 tonnes. I found this really interesting and ended up working out my entire household's usage, with scary results. I would need to plant a lot of trees to offset our lifestyle. By switching my car for walking shoes, I not only saved on petrol, but I also managed to help the environment, albeit on a small scale. And it also meant I was exercising and bonding with my daughter as we walked and chatted. Priceless. Week 29 loomed, and I realised that when I added a week of no Facebook to my challenge list, I honestly didn't think it would be a tough one. It was only for 7 days, no problem. How wrong could I have been? I really missed it, which confirmed a niggling suspicion I had about myself. I am a social media fanatic. Cynics will tell us that all this mumbo-jumbo of social media has caused the fall of our society. My own dad can't understand why I comment, like pages and post pictures, and I quote, "for the entire world to see." I have tried to explain the privacy settings to him, but this is the man who couldn't find the B on his keyboard and had to call me. For me, Facebook allows me to interact with my family in Yorkshire and my friends who are scattered across the globe. On a business level, I am able to share news and events about my own holistic company with my clients, as well as people who may not be able to utilise my spa facilities, but find my ramblings quite interesting. Facebook is also great fun. As an avid reader, I follow a number of authors on Facebook. I love the opportunity to interact with the real person. They're not just a name on the front cover anymore. You can get involved, join discussions, and add your own book reviews. It all makes one feel a part of their community. As a writer, I relish that connection and adore the feedback I receive about my blog, newsletters, and stories. I know having that reader-author relationship will help me to create better stories and characters for my own books. So, a week without Facebook. Could you cope? I have friends who log on intermittently. I have friends who last logged on in 2008, and I have friends who, like me, stay logged on and comment every 30 seconds. In my humble opinion, you get out of social media what you are prepared to put in. I love sharing some of the affirmation pages, as I know which quote will be just what one friend may need. The funny sayings I share often receive multiple likes or reshares, which means we all have the same warped sense of humour. Anything beer-related gets a great response, and anything child-related gets an OMG, how much have they grown? This is normally followed by a direct mail catch-up with friends living in Australia. Facebook, together with the many other social media platforms, makes the world a smaller and more intimate place. Old friends, new friends, colleagues, clients, celebrities, fans, and of course, family are only a click away. Going without Facebook, however, did give me time to re-evaluate who I connect with. It became apparent quite quickly who I missed interacting with. Take 5 minutes to evaluate your own Facebook page. Cull any acquaintances who don't make you feel good, or post statuses like, "Big shop done for another week." Actually, I think I may have posted that once. Rekindle friendships and support one another's business ventures and successes. Follow interesting pages where you learn something new every day. Comment on photographs, laugh at the funny stuff, and embrace the social media age. My challenge to you is this: why not give Facebook up for a week? It will either kill or cure you of your social media habits. Kill. I miss the news, views and updates and will never be without my Facebook family again. My name is, slot in your name, and I am a Facebook addict and proud of it. Cure. Not a problem. I didn't miss it, and with all that extra time, I wrote an epic novel and now have a multi-million-pound publishing deal. On week 30, I was happy to be reunited with my beloved Facebook account, but had to say goodbye to another of my lifelines, the television. Thank goodness for the radio. Heart West Midlands FM kept me up to date with all the news coverage, and I was also lucky enough to share my challenge with the West Midlands dynamic duo Ed James and Rachel New on their breakfast show live on air. Ed and Rachel were running a feature on closures, prompted by a main route in and out of the city being closed for a refurbishment. They were asking their listeners to call in with their own closures. As I'm an avid fan of the show, I thought I'd give them a ring and see if they could assist me with closing down my telly. Of course, this simply meant switching it off, but I do like to be theatrical. After Ed and Rachel counted me down, I very dramatically pulled the plug on the fifth member of our family. My 5 minutes of fame was over, and what a giggle it had been. As the week came to an end, I realised that I hadn't really missed the television. After the No Facebook challenge, I did worry that I may develop a nervous twitch, but the No Television challenge had been fairly easy. The only night I did struggle was Friday. The children and I have a film night every Friday. We pick a DVD and stock up on popcorn. We close the curtains and pretend we're at the cinema. Being a single mum with 3 kids, we can't always afford the real thing and have to improvise. It was tough when I realised that film night wasn't allowed. Instead of a DVD, we played Hangman, Pictionary, and a board game called Are You Smarter Than a 10-Year-Old, which apparently I am not. You may wonder what I did do without the television to entertain me. In 1 week, I read 2.5 books, wrote 2 short stories and a flash fiction compilation. I did some research for my young adult novel and even attempted a lipogram, a poem where you are not allowed to use a specific letter, for example, C. This challenge got me wondering how much time I actually waste watching Friends repeats, so I did a few sums and in 1 week I'd managed to claim back 17 hours. Will I be plugging the set back in again? It wouldn't bother me either way. The kids may disagree, although if you told me the Vampire Diaries was starting tomorrow, I'd fight you for the remote control. Month 7 equals mission completed.